So next up is observations and looking at those observations. There was 252 different comments that I grabbed in that time, just an hour and a half, really almost an hour of conversation that happened. So 61 of those were mentioning ideas. 60 of them mentioned the snoozling room, which we did have a specific conversation around that. But outreach and events came in at 57, which was really quite interesting. So let's take a closer look at outreach and events and see what people tied to that. So where did the staff feel that tied to their the overall? So they had lots of ideas, and a lot of them were around outreach and events, as I said. But looking at communication and things like that. So there was lots of different things in here. Communication positive was certainly one of them. And let's look at what they thought there. So anything that was mentioning communication in a positive sense or outreach and events. And then we have 50 comments that's related to that. So what about if we actually said instead outreach and events, and we want to look at different types of community events? We're going to be striking that down to just 5 on the list. So getting client help in the community with activities. So they talked about having clients being able to participate with them in community events. Invite neighbors to come visit the house, and inviting volunteers to participate in events. Partnerships with restaurants. I really quite like this one. It's very quite a simple tactic to use, but buy a taco and get a toque, and then have that toque program expand outside of that. And then outreach events, one of them was Canada Day and education around that, which is it's a wonderful opportunity in this city to get a message out there really quickly. So let's take another look at some other ones that were out there. So one area that came up quite a bit was healthcare. So how could we connect with healthcare? So occupational therapists, hospitals, naturopathic doctors, pharmacies, family doctors, child psychiatrists, psychologists, social service workers, senior centers, and children's services. What a great list this is. So there's plenty to work with here that I think would be wonderful to grow upon and build that. So really interesting there. When we also look at schools and colleges, we're going to see another list that's really interesting. So and I think this is great. So talking to school counselors, the educational assistants, and discussing that. Looking at college and child development with education and nursing, maybe some volunteers there. And then school counselors. So there's lots of neat ideas here that really come down to developing a strong outreach program and getting out there into those schools and community support groups and things like that. So here's another one looking at community groups and different groups that you maybe connect with. So pastors, this came up a fair bit. There was religion brought up a few different times. The LGBTQ community, the FASD events, and autism events. So there's again, building upon that outreach, there's lots of opportunities there.